Hey guys, welcome back. In this video we're looking at a classic Back in Black by ACDC. Real fun song to play. So we're going to do as we always do, break it down into individual sections and talk about any left hand fingering adjustments or just options, picking directions, all that stuff. Alright, so it opens up with just some pick scrapes. So you're just going to lightly touch your strings with your left hand and just hit strum through your 6 strings, getting a nice rake sound with the distortion on there. It's pretty nice because it counts you in at the beginning of the tune. Okay, so for the verse, we're dealing with I play an E major chord instead of an E5 chord. I know a lot of folks play an E5 chord, so E major from string 6 to 1, open 6, and then fret 2 on string 5, fret 2 on string 4, fret 1 on string 3, open 2, and open 1. E major. I just like that sound a little bit better. Maybe what he's playing, I don't know. And then a D5 chord, string 4 open, string 3 fret 2, and string 2 fret 3. And we're muting that first string so we don't get that ringing out, right? We want that to be completely muted. So we get a nice clean power chord there. And then A5, we're going to press down on the 2nd fret on strings 4 and 3, so it's open string 5, string 4, fret 2, and string 3, fret 2. I'm just using my index finger there. That'll probably be the easiest way to get in and out of that chord. Okay, so the strum pattern for those chords will be like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. So the D chord and the A chord are entering in on the upbeat. The E is just right on 1. So that you know, the entrance on the upbeat might throw people off a little bit. Just listen to that recording. You hear it's the timing of the rest is important there, as we will see is the same with this little lick that follows. So I'll just play that a couple times without counting, but I'll count myself in. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a little bit faster. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a little bit faster than that. 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and there we're starting to get to close to the tempo of the tune. It's down on your E, down up down on your D chord, down up down on your A5 chord, but just make sure that you are aiming for the string set that you're for the chord that you're playing. Like D5, I'm aiming for strings 4, 3, and 2. For A5, I'm aiming for strings 5, 4, and 3. And as much as you can with that left hand, just muting unwanted strings, keeping the hand relaxed, of course, just so we don't get any extraneous noises. All right, and then we have that famous little lick. not that difficult to play. The only thing that I will say is that it does not enter on the downbeat. So you're going to hear, should be the drums landing on beat 3, and then that lick enters in just a little bit after, just a 16th note after it, and we'll put it in context. But I'm using finger 3 on string 1 fret 3, and then open string 1, string 2 fret 3 with finger 3, open string 2, and then I use fingers 1 and 2 here to bend at that 2nd fret. So I put them both inside of that fret box 2, and I'm going to pick, immediately bend, let it fall, and pull off. Using alternate picking here, okay? Don't just use down picking. So all of that together would be with the chords, just so we can hear that timing. 1, 2, 3, 4, and okay. I'm going to go ahead and do that one more time, counting, so you can hear that it comes in right after that downbeat of 3. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. And then you're straight back into that E chord. You repeat the progression with E, D5, and A5 the exact same way. And then we have this other riff. So I'm going to have finger 1 on string 5 fret 2, and that's going to be alternating with string 6 fret 4, string 6 fret 5, string 6 fret 6, and string 6 fret 7. And I'm going to pick up on string 5 and down on string 6 each time. So it sounds like this. And then I just hold that and slide back in to get back into my E chord there. So that is. I see a lot of people try and use their 3rd finger for all of that. I don't know, that might feel easier to some folks. I don't have that big of hands, and just incorporating that pinky makes life a lot simpler. I think typically the reason that it feels more difficult is just that people aren't accustomed to using it. So get it working out and it'll be easier. So finger 1 here, finger 3 on the 4th fret of string 6, and then the pinky on 5, 6, and 7. Okay, so the whole verse section together, I'll go ahead and put the rakes in as well. We'll do it a couple different speeds. 1, 2, ready, and 3, 4, and 2 and 3. Back into the E chord a little bit quicker. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 3, 4 and 2, 3. So with that lick, just make sure that your hand is moving uniform across that neck. You don't want to be, swiping those fingers far away and having this excessive movement. That is, a big culprit of where people think that they can't do it, but it's just a technical thing, right? Finger independence and minimizing the amount of movement that you use to accomplish something. So there's a lot of opportunities for just turning this into an exercise, but I have my fingers pretty much ready to go there, right? All I have to do is get in position and then press whatever fret I happen to be looking for. So it's not swinging that hand out, okay? Super important there. And we'll see that again also in the interlude. Okay, in the chorus, we have an A5 again, play the exact same way. We have an E5, which is basically an A5 chord, the same shape, but we just go up one set of strings, so it's going to be open string 6, and then I'm barring strings 5 and 4 at the 2nd fret. Right there. And then a B5 power chord, string 5 fret 2, string 4 fret 4, and string 3 fret 4. All right, that's for the first little progression. The timing on this is a little funky, so I think it's easy enough to hear it, a little bit more challenging to replicate it, but just listen to the recording at different speeds and you'll start feeling where that entrance is. We're not going to mess around with counting all that stuff here because I think it'll just confuse matters. Use your ear for that. But it's the same way all the way through. So it's going to be A5, E5, B5, A5, B5. So using that bar for E5 and A5 is going to really help, and then I'm using fingers 3 and 4 to catch my other 2 notes on the B5 chord there. One more time. Okay, and then the next line, the next progression is G5, D5, and A5. I play my G5 like this. So I've got finger 2, 3, and 4, and I'm on string 6 fret 6. String 5 is muted. String 4 open. String 3 open. String 2 fret 3, and string 1 fret 3. Nice big G5 power chord. Then finger 3 is already prepared to get to D5, so that's going to be my anchor to get into the D5. That's the next chord in the progression. And then an A5. All right? Finger 3 is in place, D5, A5, and then we have a little bass note bend here on string 6 fret 3. All right, we're just going to pull on that, and then back to the A5 chord. So all that together is going to be that's a little bit trickier than the other one, but I think if you use that fingering, use that third finger as just kind of fixing its position to transition to the D5, and then A5 barring with finger 1, using the middle finger to bend here. Just make sure that you're remembering that, building that physical memory into it, and staying consistent. It'll start to stick. Not to say that there aren't alternatives, but that would be my recommendation. And then it goes straight back to the original progression, A, E, and B5. And then it ends with a G5 chord, and I just kind of mimic the drums here, or whatever it is that hits that. And then on the D5 chord. So let's play all of that together through the entire chorus. So I think the biggest, well, there's a few challenges there. The rhythm, you know, listen to the recording for the timing and be consistent with how your fingers are transitioning, and try and keep those movements as small as possible, trying to kind of use that top knuckle to hinge, especially when you're getting in and out of that bar. You gotta kind of wiggle that finger so you're not using your entire hand or arm to move around, okay? Just minimizing movement, keeping it efficient. And then we get to the interlude. So it's basically like a blues rock lick that's it's doing one thing for the E chord and then playing the exact same thing for the A chord. It just falls towards the floor, one set of strings. So let me just play it slowly and then I'll break it down. The ending part is very similar to what we encounter in the verse. So open string 6, string 5, fret 5 with finger 3. Then you're gonna find that easier, and then slide into fret 4. And that's all even. Okay, instead of using the pinky there, I think it makes more sense to use that third finger. So open string 6, string 5, fret 5, string 5, fret 4, slide, string 5, fret 2, string 5, fret 4, and then string 6, fret 3 with finger 2, string 5, fret 2, string 6, fret 5, string 5, fret 2 again, string 6, fret 6, string 5, fret 2, again, string 6, fret 7. That's that similar part to the verse. So all together. So building up the speed there, you know, you're gonna have work with the metronome a little bit, but I think the biggest thing is gonna be using alternate picking here, some form of alternate picking, and then keeping that left hand prepared to find those notes because it's just kind of an outstretched position. And then for the A riff, you do the exact same thing, but you just shift it towards the floor, like I said. So open string 5, string 4, fret 5 with finger 3, slide back to fret 4 on string 4, string 4, fret 2 with finger 1, string 4, fret 4 with finger 3, string 5, fret 2, or fret 3, sorry, with finger 2, string 4, fret 2, string 5, fret 5, string 4, fret 2 again, string 5, fret 6, string 4, fret 2 again, string 5, fret 7. And you only hear that A riff twice. So it'll be the E riff 4 times, the A riff twice, and the E riff twice again. And then it jumps back into that part of the chorus. So I'll just go all the way through the interlude there. That's all the bits, guys. So that fingering definitely works for each one of those pieces. Stay consistent whatever you choose to do, but make sure it works first. And if you're uncertain about whether what you're doing works, or you don't have a lot of experience, I guess, with making those decisions on your own, then I recommend going with what I'm doing there. But like I said, you'll probably find somebody else playing it and they're doing it a different way. And you know, you want to find the thing that requires the least amount of effort in both hands, so it starts to feel easy. And then all you have to think about is hearing it and being able to visualize the riff on the neck, and not getting caught up with things that are kind of sidetracking you and making you feel like it's impossible to play or something. So slow the recording down as always, play along in sections, and then build it little by little. Oh, I wanted to go over one other thing. When the solo comes in, the accompaniment is very similar to the verse section, but the riffs are taken out. So this is what it sounds like. It's E5, D5, and A5, right? All those normal chords. I'm changing the E major to an E5 chord. But it starts out exactly the same. And then in place of the riff, we just hit the E5 chord. And I just strum it a couple times. Doesn't really have to be anything specific. If you listen carefully, you'll hear it. And then the second time around, it's going to be... And then here it's going to go E, A, E, A. Like that. So you're going to cycle those 4 measures over the solo. So all the way through that, it'd be... all the way through the solo, and then I believe directly out of the solo it jumps into the chorus section. So memorize the song form obviously as well. And I think I'll end up doing the solo here you know, within the next few weeks, so keep an eye out for that. It's a fun solo to play and definitely has its challenges and moves pretty quick. So yeah, have fun with this one, guys. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you next time. Thanks.